Most teams aren't underperforming because the people are bad. They're underperforming because the systems they have put in place are broken. And I've worked with hundreds of teams across the country, and every high-performing team I've ever seen runs on the same 4 systems. Most teams I walk into are missing at least 2 of them. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna walk you through all 4. I'll show you how to spot the ones that you're probably missing, and I'll give you a starting point on how to build them this week. My name is Josh. I'm the founder of Limitless, and I've spent over 20 years developing leaders and building high-performing teams. I now travel the United States working directly with companies that want to build high-performing teams that don't just hit their numbers, but actually create a world where people want to go to work. And if that's what you're trying to build, you're in the right place. So let's just get right into it. Now, here's the thing about teams. We are so quick to blame the people. The new hire isn't working out. That manager can't get it together. This generation just doesn't want to seem to work. And listen, sometimes people are the problems, but 9 out of 10 times when I walk into a struggling organization, the people are fine. They're capable. They're trying. The systems that they're operating inside of are what's broken. And until you fix that system, swapping the people in and out won't fix anything. You're just going to burn through good talent. So I'm going to give you the 4 systems that every elite team has in every place that I've ever worked. Every single one. I don't care the industry, healthcare, energy, logistics, government, tech, it doesn't matter. The 4 systems are the same. And if your team doesn't have these 4, you don't have a performance problem. You have a structure problem. So let's get into the first one. It's shared goals and purpose. Goals without purpose just burn people out. Purpose without goals just let people drift away. High-performing teams have both, and they're tied together. Most leaders think setting a goal is enough. Then they drop the quarterly target on the team and say go. They wonder why 3 weeks later, everyone is already losing steam. The goal gets people to show up, but the purpose is what gets them to bring their best self each and every day. People need to know why they're doing what they're doing. They need to know what they're chasing and why it actually matters. Not why it matters to the company, why it matters to them, why it matters to your customer, why it matters to something bigger than their paycheck. When your team connect that daily grind to something that means something to them, you unlock a level of effort that money can't buy. You'll never outpay disengagement. You only outpurpose it. So how do you build that system? Every quarter, sit down with your team and you answer these 3 questions out loud, together, not just you and what you think. What are we trying to win this quarter? Why does it matter? And how will we know what success looks like? Those 3 questions answered together with everyone in the room will do more for your team than any motivational speech you could ever give. Now you've had people that start pulling in the same direction. And not only are they pulling in the same direction, they know why they're pulling. If you can't answer those 3 questions for your team right now, that's where you need to start with system 1. The second system is effective communication. Now, communication as a whole bothers me. It's always the scapegoat. Everything's a communication breakdown. But the truth is, communication is where most teams break down. And I need to be really clear because most leaders hear the word communicate and they think that means talking more, sending more emails, having more meetings, posting more updates. That's not communication, and that's what we get wrong. That's just noise. Effective communication is the muscle, the courage to have honest conversations, to give people real feedback and learn to disagree in a healthy way. It's not dysfunctional. That's it. Honest conversations, real feedback, and productive disagreement. Most teams can't do any of those 3. So what do? We built a framework and we call it Actable communication. It's 6 pillars every leader on the high-performing team has to operate from. It's authenticity, curiosity, transparency, your body language, listening, and empathy. Now, I know that's a lot, and I'm not going to dive into each one of them. If you're interested, you know how to get a hold of us. We can run through a workshop. We offer a communication workshop. We have all the tools and resources you need. The takeaway from this is you need a system, a framework that builds accountability into your communication style. If you want to use ours, that's awesome. If not, design your own. Just make sure that you have one and you know how to execute it consistently. The third system, and everyone's favorite, is accountability and ownership. Now, accountability gets a bad name because most leaders confuse it with punishment. They think accountability means catching people doing something wrong. And a lot of the times their staff reinforces that. This person should be held accountable because they showed up late. Why aren't they doing what I'm doing? I'm doing more. There should be accountability. That's not accountability. That's surveillance. Real accountability is the agreement that we do what we said we were going to do. When we do it, we own it. When we don't, we adjust. That's the definition. We commit and we follow through. And when we miss, we own it. We learn from it. We learn to move forward. Accountability doesn't have to have drama. There's no hiding. There's no pointing fingers or playing blame. It's just adults doing adult work. Now, accountability is the floor, but ownership needs to become the ceiling. Ownership is when your team stops saying that's not my job and starts asking what does the team need from me right now. It's a collective unit. You start to feel these systems intersecting. They move together. Ownership was when someone sees a problem and they don't wait to be told to fix it. They just fix it. Or they bring you a solution instead of a complaint or a problem. That's what ownership is. And that's where elite teams live. So how do you build ownership? How do you build accountability? You give people real decision-making ability, real decision-making power, not fake ones, real ones with real outcomes. You define what success looks like, you define the boundaries they have to stay within, and then you get out of their way and let them run. Let them work. You want to hire adults? Let them be adults. When they win, you celebrate. When they miss, you have a conversation. You don't take the decision back, because the moment you start overriding their decisions, you're just training them to wait for you to make the next one. And then you become living in a world where you're developing problem solving instead of developing problem solvers. Accountability and ownership are built by leaders who give real responsibility to people and don't snatch it back at the first sign of struggle. The last system, and probably the most difficult one, is psychological safety. This has to be the foundation, because without it, the rest of it will crumble. Doesn't matter how clear your goals are, doesn't matter how good you are at communication, it doesn't matter how much accountability you have. If your team doesn't feel safe, nothing's gonna stick. Psychological safety means people can be honest and take risks and admit mistakes and challenge your ideas without getting punished for it. That's it. It's not helping people be soft. It's not everybody getting along all the time or everyone getting what they want. It's about creating an environment where the truth can show up without someone getting hurt for telling it. And I mean hurt in an emotional way, not necessarily a physical way. And the reason why psychological safety matters more than anything else, in an unsafe team, the truth gets buried. People will hide the mistakes. They'll cover for each other. They don't challenge bad ideas because it's not worth the consequences. And by the time a real problem reaches you, it's already on fire. So if you're wondering why you spend all of your time and all of your days putting out fires, it's because you have low psychological safety. By the time someone's able to disagree out loud, 3 other people have already quit in their head. In a safe team, the truth moves fast. That means problems get surfaced earlier, mistakes get owned, and they get fixed. Bad ideas get challenged before they become bad strategies. Innovation can actually happen because people are willing to say the half-formed thing that they haven't completely figured out, but it might be brilliant. And then your best people stay, because A players will not tolerate environments where it's unsafe to be honest. So how do you build psychological safety? You first start with how you react. Every single time someone tells you something hard, your reaction is teaching your team what's safe to bring and what isn't. If somebody owns a mistake and you blow up, you just train the entire team that it's better to hide the mistakes. If someone disagrees with you, let's say in a meeting, and you decide to shut them down, you just train the whole room to stop disagreeing with you. Your team is constantly watching your reactions like a scoreboard, and trust me, they're keeping track. The leaders who choose to build psychological safety on purpose do 3 things. They thank people for hard truths, even when those truths are uncomfortable. They own their own mistakes out loud, so the team knows that it's okay to do the same. And they protect the people that take honest risks. Even if the risk doesn't pan out, it's still worth rewarding the opportunity to take the risk. Do those 3 things consistently, and you will build a culture where trust shows up fast and your best people will choose to stay. Now, here's the thing about these systems. There's 4 of them, but they work together. You can't build accountability without psychological safety, because people won't own their mistakes in unsafe environments. You can't have effective communication without shared purpose, because then you don't know what you're actually communicating towards. They are a system, all 4 of them, and they work together. Most organizations or most teams that I walk into have one of these built, maybe 2 of them if they're lucky. But the top 10% of teams have all 4 operating at the highest level, and that's the difference. It's not talent, it's not your industry, it's not your budget, it's the systems that you put in place. So what's your move? Score your team on a scale of 1 to 5 on each of these 4 systems. Be honest with yourself. And whichever one scored the lowest, that's where you start this week, not next month. This week, pick one move that you can make in the next 7 days to strengthen a system that's identified as weak. And if you want to go even deeper on this, I'm running workshops across the US right now where we go deep on how to build high-performing teams. And if you want the playbook, I put together a free guide called How to Build High-Performing Teams. It breaks down the exact frameworks and strategies I use to teach in these workshops. Completely free, links down below, go grab it. If this landed for you, hit that subscribe button. And remember, leadership isn't a moment, it's built in the moments where nobody's watching. My name's Josh, this is Limitless, and I cannot wait to see what y'all do next.